All right. Welcome to episode 7 of CultTV. I have the honor and privilege and opportunity of chatting to chat with Paris Cole. She is the creative direction and creative genius behind Dreamville artist Ari Lennox. She's also 1/4 of the Creative Theory Agency, and they are DC based, and they've worked with clients such as Google, UVic, the DC Mayor's Office, and other clients as well. Paris, I wanted to sit down with you and chat with you because you went from being a music fan to being a music force in the industry, and not everybody gets that opportunity, especially if you're not going the artist route and you're really behind the scenes impacting the culture. And so I thought it was important to really chat with someone who's doing what you love in ways that you love. And so we're just going to hear how she got there and what you learned along the way.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's hop into it. So you're a music fan. You make that very, very clear, and it's evident from the way that you work. Did you always know that you would end up working in the music industry?
Yes, I think so. I remember when I was in like middle school and elementary school, I would always like ask for Christmas for like CDs.
Right.
So I remember one year, my grandma had got me like, at the time I like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera,
right,
Justin Timberlake, and that was like, I would play those CDs over and over. And my mom is like a really huge hip hop fan, so I grew up listening to like the Jay-Z, the Beanie Siegels, the Cameron. My mom is like a huge Mary J. Blige fan, so I always just kind of came up around it. And go-go, I'm like super influenced by go-go music.
Absolutely, yeah. I love it. Shout out to being a Beans fan. Like that's
Beanie Siegel. Yes. First of all, Beanie Siegel is so underrated.
Right.
And if he came out and dropped an album, I would totally get behind pushing that.
Favorite Beans album?
The Coming?
She's my friend, y'all, because that is my favorite Beanie Siegel album as well. Like that was my introduction to Beans.
Bread and butter? Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Yes.
What are you talking about?
It's a very, very comprehensive album. So if you are not hip to Beans and Becoming, you should be because you're late. But go ahead and get on that. Great intro, Beanie. So being a creative director, that is a broad title, and you have done a lot of different things that I feel fit in that title. What does being a creative director mean to you?
I think I'm more of like the idea and executor.
Okay.
I think a lot of creative director is a very broad title, and it works different per field. I think for me, what I've been able to do with like certain brands and definitely some of the artists is be able to take like what their end goal vision is, and then come up with the ideas to help execute it. So I basically work backwards.
Nice.
And it's like working with Ari. It's like I take her ideas and I'm like the intermediary between whoever we need to help bring the vision to life. I think they always play like kind of like the middleman in between like the creative and the production team that needs to do whatever needs to be done to make it happen.
That sounds like the sweet spot, because you get to do so many tactical and technical things to build the brand, and then you also are a part of that, like the ideas part. Yeah. That's amazing. What's a week in your world like?
There's a lot of meetings. There's a lot of meetings in the minds.
Right.
There's a lot of planning. A lot of running around, a lot of studio time. I've been spending a lot of time in the studio. And then I spend a lot of time thrifting. I have to thrift at least maybe once or twice a week. I think that's like my therapy. It's like just going to find something and just coming up on a bargain.
Is it thrifting for you, or is that part of like creating Ari's unique presence and unique?
It's both. Okay. I mean, I like to personally thrift.
Yeah.
But Ari's the same way. Like we're not like super like we're into fashion, but we're not like super name brandy. So I like to find cool pieces. Like you never know what you find, like a cool jacket or a cool skirt for a bargain. That's like the best.
That's dope.
Yeah. And it's cost effective.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's environmentally friendly.
Yeah,
as well.
That's what I'm saying. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So most people say, when they get an opportunity, and I'm finding this even as I'm building my own brand, but people they see that you do one thing dope and they want to throw you into other things. Like, oh, you did well with this. I want you to do the creative direction here, be the tour manager, design the set, design a set, set up the press tour. What makes you confident enough? You've done all of these things. What makes you confident enough to take different types of creative risks and challenges, even when you may not have, had experience in that space before?
That's the best question I think I've ever been asked my whole life. I'm not shy. I'm not afraid of the term jack of all trades.
Right.
I think some people will be like, oh, jack of all trades, master of none. But I think every successful entrepreneur is a jack of all trades. I feel like they wear many hats. And I think, especially in the music entertainment space, I think it's important for you to wear many hats.
Right.
Some managers are just managers. Like, I'm a manager, creative, stylist. I've done tour management as well. But it's like, I feel like being well versed in all those fields is what makes you a great person to work with. And I think me knowing those different things is why people may come and ask me to do more projects or try different things, because I'm kind of well versed in different fields.
I think that's essential. So you know what, for anybody that's watching and thinking, I do so many things, I wear so many hats. It's cool to be multi-dimensional. You're hearing it from someone who's done it first.
I think that's like my whole thing is like just preaching multi-dimension. It's like, in today's world, it's cool if you do one thing. Like, if you're a doctor, like, literally you probably can only be a doctor. But when it comes to like media and entertainment and that space, even in fashion, like, you want to be multidimensional.
Okay, so let's shift a little bit and talk about your work with the Creative Theory Agency.
Yes.
What part do you play in their success? Because you're 1/4 of the team, so I know that you're deep.
Yeah. I mean, Gary and Taman started the agency, and I started working with them in one day. I kept running into Gary often, and I finally went in for a meeting, and I told him about everything I've done because I used to work at this company called Tin Shop, doing like creative direction for a bar restaurant group, and through that did events, and I just was all over the place in DC and studios, and it was like love at first sight when I started like working with them, because it was like they already had things in place, and I just kind of played a relationship manager, an event activation role. So one of the first things that I did with them was help open the Ubik store. Ubik had came to them. They wanted basically just to do like a lookbook collaboration, and then we took it a step further and did I helped style the lookbook, and then we did the store opening. And the store opening, I helped get like Biz Marquis to DJ, Wale was there, all of the top DC artists was there, Chaz French, Gold Link came through, and that was like the beginning of blossoming everything. Then we did the Thrive magazine, and I got my good friend Erica at Google to partner with us, and then that has just kind of taken off. Google became our partner, and they've been behind the last 3 issues, and now we're, working with Union Market on a really cool project, and I've just literally been the liaison between like certain brands that want to work with us, and then just helping us figure out where we're taking Creative Theory.
That's so cool. I think I actually had the opportunity to be at the Thrive opening ceremony.
At Google?
It was in the Union Market area, and you guys were.
The Humanity exhibit.
Yes.
With the Pixel phone.
Yes. That was a cool thing. So it's nice to come full circle and actually get to talk to the people that power the things that you're interested in. So, thank you. So that's a little bit different, slightly different from the essence of your work with Dreamville and Ari Lennox. So how does that integrate together? Like, how do you do both at the same damn time?
I mean, things so well. I'm still working with Creative Theory, and I still work with Ari as simultaneously. But Ari is in a different space, and so is Creative Theory. Like, some of the projects don't happen at the same time, and some of my attention doesn't need to be only on Creative Theory. So it's just balancing between. It's really a balancing act, and I say that to a lot of people, because I have other clients outside of Ari as well. But it's just knowing who to prioritize when, and what takes precedent before something else.
Okay.
So that's why you're able to wear many hats, because some things aren't as important as others at this time.
So you have a very dope and cool aesthetic, but what I'm hearing is that there's like some strategy and like hard like knowledge and institutional knowledge.
For sure.
that's the basis of that. So
yeah,
that's super exciting.
I think organization is like the key to me being able to do so many things. Just knowing my schedule, when to be where, what's happening when. I'm trying to be more 3 month out, 3 to 6 month out. Right now I'm only like a month out of knowing my schedule. But
that's better than a lot of people.
Yeah,
so.
it's just hard, but especially trying to be bi-coastal.
Right.
Yeah, I try to be hyper vigilant with my schedule.
Cool. In music, it seems to be very male dominated. Did you face any age or gender discrimination?
Yes.
And how do you manage and balance that?
I was just talking about this on the panel. Just being confident, which is that's a learned thing. Right. I think I've been learning to be more confident as I, keep going on and on in my career. But lately, I've been just kind of pushing through doors no matter what. Right. I try not to take things personal. Before, when I would experience like a little bit of sexism, I'd take it a little personal, take offense to it. But now I just don't. It's just like almost it is what it is, and being tough enough to just push through. Cool. Yeah.
So you, again, like you touched on, you've done a lot in the time that you've been building and working, and you've been in a lot of different spaces. What is your favorite project to date?
My favorite project? Damn. I have to really think about that. I will say my favorite project to date is the one that I'm working on now with Ari. Okay. Her album's going to be coming out very soon. Okay. And
can you give a date?
Can't give a date.
All right.
I can't give a date, but it's coming out before the end of the year. And just the ideas that we have and sonically where she is and how we kind of want to roll things out is probably going to be my favorite work and my favorite projects so far.
Okay. One of your skill sets is identifying shifts in the culture and building shifts in the culture and identifying artists. I wanted to get your take on this. Do you think the ability to trend spot, do you think that is a talent?
Great word.
Do you think that's a talent? Like either you have it or you don't, or do you think it's a skill, like an eye that you just build over time after being in the culture and being around it?
I think it's both, but I mean honestly, not everyone has the eye. There's no shade to anybody, but I feel like it's just something that you just have. Okay. I feel like you can learn it. Yeah. I feel like you can pick up on trends or skills from other people or kind of pay attention to trends and figure it out. But I do think it's innate. Okay. I don't think everyone can be a stylist. You have to have an eye to be a stylist or the vision to be a stylist. And I think that's totally innate. But you can also read Vogue magazine and study Paris Fashion Week and go to Hypebeast and figure out the trends and acquire them. But I still think it's innate. Yeah.
Okay. So as a visionary, and as someone who can trend spot, do you have anything that you can hip us to? Like what should we anticipate or what should we look for this year in terms of trends?
In what, music or
anything that you want to speak to?
I think R&B is making a serious comeback. I think there was a point in time where hip hop and kind of trap music was the sound of the generation. I think R&B is going to make a serious comeback this year. Okay. Just because sonically, there's just so many really talented artists and singers, and I think producers are starting to, experiment more with different sounds. That's kind of bridging other genres into R&B, which I think is cool, like dance R&B. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a really cool trend to look out for this upcoming year. Okay. In terms of that space, that R&B space, is there anyone that's emerging that we should be listening to? Yes, there's a singer. Her name is Ari Lennox.
Yes, absolutely.
Ari Lennox. There's a singer from here. Her name is Alex Vaughn. Okay. She's amazing. Yes. I just found this amazing singer. Her name is Ruche. Okay. Kirby. One of my favorite producers. His name is DJ Camper. Is working on a really cool project. He's behind her and Jessie J, Mary J. Blige. He's putting together a cool compilation. There's a UK singer. His name is Varen Wade. Amazing. Tone Stith. Amazing singer. There's a lot of really cool R&B acts coming, and I'm really blessed because I've happen to know most of them. I don't really know Roche that well and Kirby. But I mean, there are just some really cool music coming out for sure.
Okay, so you've heard it here. If you are not hip to any of those names, you need to add them to your playlist, drag and drop, find out everything you need to know about those acts and those individuals.
Yes.
Okay, so what's something that people would be surprised to know about working with artists? Like on the outside, it looks like a lot of like lights and cameras and dopeness. But what's something surprising that people not in the industry wouldn't expect?
Artists are very. It's not that they're introverted, but they have friends, but they don't have many friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people get the misconception of, especially like famous people in general, like they're just, a lot of people know them, they know their names, but like they're actual like friends. It's very few far between for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why the management and creative role is so important, because you become their friends, essentially. Like everyone I work with, I consider my family.
Right.
So I think that's something cool that people don't know. It's like their life isn't really always what it seems.
Yeah.
They're also really crazy. Sometimes they're just a little crazy. Yeah. But it's a good crazy. It balances out. Like, it's they sing from certain places, and they've had so many experiences that they sing about that we don't even realize. Like, they really have went through those things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're interesting people, honestly.
Yeah.
They're aliens. I always call them aliens.
Right. And I think you have to be, along that same point, I think that you kind of have to be an alien and a little bit crazy to go pursue your dream wholeheartedly.
For sure.
So if you're tuning in, go ahead and embrace your alien. Go embrace your crazy. Be an alien. Yeah. Okay, so what advice do you have for someone looking to impact culture?
That's a good question. I will say I didn't come into this. Well, I guess that's kind of a bad way to say it, but I didn't want to come in to music with a goal to shift the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just happening.
Right.
And I feel like people that want to shift the culture shouldn't go in with that goal. It's more so to just do what they feel passionate about. Yes. Because if they're passionate about it, then it's going to automatically influx everything anyway.
Right.
So yeah, I don't do it because I want to be like a culture shifter. I just so happen to be doing it. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I just feel like people should just kind of go with their gut, and that's going to lead them to make change.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been talking a lot of career talk and a lot of industry talk. I want to shift to you personally to get to know you now that you're my friend. We both like beans. What's your unpopular opinion about anything?
That Homeland is way better than Scandal. No one wants to listen to me. I mean, no shade to Kerry Washington. First of all, I love Shonda Rhimes. I actually haven't watched any of Shonda Rhimes' show, Grey's Anatomy or anything like that. But I did read her book, and it made me want to watch her shows because she offers such a great perspective. Year of Yes was a game changer for me. Okay. And that goes back to like being confident and just like going for it. But there is something about Homeland that is just so, they really go deep into like the FBI and the roles, and it wasn't so much more the White House than it was just all the inner workings, and then internationally I just thought it just went above and beyond. But yeah. Okay.
All right, so that's her unpopular opinion. That's my unpopular opinion. So you spoke about having friendships with artists. Have you ever gotten starstruck?
Oh my God, yes, all the time.
How do you manage?
Okay, so one time I was at Essence, and my best friend, his name is Eddie Forcell. He happens to be Mary J. Blige's A&R. So Mary's like queen of Essence. So we go to this after party, and this is when Girls Trip came out. So it's like Jada Pinkett, Jasmine Sullivan's in the area, and in walks Queen Latifah, and I'm a Queen Latifah stan. So I'm literally standing there next to her, and I don't know what to say, but all that came out of my mouth was, "Black Rain changed my life," which is Queen Latifah's first album. Yeah. And she just looked at me like, okay. I was like, well, yeah. I was like, well, I'm 25, so when it came out, I was basically only like 1 year old.
Yeah.
I was like, but like that album changed my whole life.
Right.
And she was like, thank you. She gave me a hug, and then that was it.
Oh.
But I was shook. I was shook. I was like, oh my god.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
At least you were able to say something and not just like,
ah. Yeah. I met Mary a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Mary gets me starstruck. She's just, her energy and her spirit is just everything you ever want to encounter. Like, she like exudes aura that like, I don't even know how she gives that off. But, and then my other stand moment was with Faith Newman. She founded Nas in the 90s, and I had just watched the Nas documentary, Illmatic.
Yeah.
Stillmatic, and she walks in the room, and I'm like, oh my god, Faith Newman's right here. Like, part of the reason why I wanted to get in the game was because of Faith Newman. So yeah, that was my other starstruck moment. But
dope.
Those are my three.
Yes. Okay, so I don't want to. It's been a busy day. You've been doing a lot, and I'm sure that you have a lot upcoming. And you're also on the bi-coastal thing, so you might be a little jet lagged. Where can we support you? If you're new to Paris Cole, where can we follow you? And what should we look out for?
Okay, so I don't have a website yet, but soon come. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Paris_Cole. Okay. I would say the next biggest thing I'm working on would be Ari Lennox's album, which should be coming out before the end of the year. Creative Theory is working on some really cool stuff with Union Market, and that's if you're like hyper local DC.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna be traveling and being back and forth between LA and here, but just trying to continue to push the culture forward and break some cool artists and put out some cool music this summer. That's it.
Cool. Okay, so that is this episode of Cult TV. You've heard it here first. Please follow and support Paris Cole and the Creative Theory Agency and Ari Lennox. Read Year of Yes. Listen to the artists that she shouted out. And you can follow me at Cult Classic, CultClassiq. And this is Cult TV. Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you so much.